pre-trip vehicle inspection 869. We're going over the basic components of the spray truck, how to maintain it, and how to fill out your driver's log. So the first thing we want you to do in the morning is to fill out the date, your name, your vehicle number, your start odometer, your payroll start, what time you leave the yard, and your job start location, all filled out in blue or black ink. We're gonna start by checking the doors, make sure the doors open and close. Doors open and close, very good. We're gonna show you on this one how to open the hood. It's a little different from the other ones we've seen. It's not on the inside. You're gonna have two latches, one on each side. Pull the latch up.
And lay it back down.
And lay it back down. You're gonna come to the front here. We've already detached the other side, but there are two. And you're gonna pull up this little guy right here in the front, and then just pull him up and over. So a little bit different on this guy, but we're still gonna start with the same base components. We're gonna start with the engine oil, pulling out the dipstick all the way, wiping off the fluid, sticking it all the way back inside to get a true reading. So here, click, we'll pull it back out. Take a look. Sheldon, how's it look?
We're low.
Looks like we need to add some. So, in the event that we would need to add oil, as in this case here, I'll show you up here. Hard to see. Cap. Inside the engine there. You can see the cap. Very good. Take the cap off. Insert the funnel, insert the oil, and then check your dipstick again to make sure you have the right levels. Now the type of oil is labeled on top of your oil cap, but it's also written right here. You need 16 quarts, 15 W40. So we pan around the rest of the engine here. We're looking at the engine coolant. Again, we can see our max line, our minimum line. This one we need to fill. So this guy's a little bit low. This is one you'd need to add some antifreeze to. On this side again, we're gonna see the reservoir for brake fluid. This is one you wanna make sure you're not overfilling, so nothing over the max line. You can see it's also labeled on the left side with the blue and the red. But again, brake fluid, if it's something that you're adding or putting in weekly or daily even, you're gonna wanna let your manager or your mechanic know because you have a problem with the brakes. Coming over here, we've got the power steering fluid. Again, just the minimum and maximum fill line. See our transmission here. This is the transmission fluid you would check while the engine is warm and running. You'll notice in this video we have not started the engine. Everything is cold here to check our fluids. Very important. With the transmission fluid, it's different. You would check that after the truck is warmed up and been running for a little while. We're always panning over the engine, checking to make sure there's no oil leaks, anything pooling or puddling around the bottom of the engine or around the inside. This guy, the battery, is covered up. So you've got two latches, one on each side. You want to make sure that those are latched and attached. Keeps the cover on the battery, but you want to pull the battery cover off, make sure your terminals are in good shape, make sure everything's connected. Covers all the components of the engine. Push it down, close it. You come back over to your latches on each side. Pull back on the latch, press it down. Very good. We're gonna go inside the cab now, make sure that our seatbelt works. Take a look at our mirrors, make sure our mirrors are in good shape. See them on both sides, the mirrors are in good shape. Click our seatbelt in, make sure our seatbelt works. Very good. Come around the outside and take a look at the windshield, make sure that everything's good with the windshield. Make sure you've got an inspection sticker or a registration sticker. Make sure there's no cracks or chips in the windshield. Go ahead. Make sure the windshield wipers work. We're going to turn on the windshield wipers. Make sure the fluid comes out of the windshield wipers. This one, the driver tells me the windshield wipers fluid does not come out. So that would be a DOT violation. This is something you'd want to note on your vehicle deficiencies. Make sure the horn works. Give it a toot. Very good. We're going to check the steering. Make sure the steering not too tight, not too loose, and then it matches up with the wheels when they move. Very good there. Let's check out our defroster. Make sure that we've got the defrost working as well as coming out of the center vents. Driver says yes, it's good. We're gonna check out our gauges. Inside the truck we see our gauges from left to right. You see our temperature gauge, or our oil pressure gauge that jumps up to the middle whenever you fire the truck up if everything's good. The second gauge you'll see is your water temperature gauge. Your third one is your fuel. And this one you can see we're definitely gonna need some fuel. Or I'm sorry, third one is our DEF, which has been disconnected. Our last one on the right is our fuel. You wanna make sure your truck is filled up with fuel, whether it's gas or diesel. In this case, it's a diesel engine with diesel fuel every morning. Notice as we pan across, we also see the check engine light on. If this is something you see that's on there, you might want to note that, but it's usually a minor, either an oxygen sensor or something simple that we just couldn't clear out. Checking to make sure we've got a CB radio. Our CB radios are always turned to channel 2 to make sure we can communicate with the rest of our vehicles and our crew. Our parking brake on this truck is inside. You pull up on the latch, press down on it to release. One more time, pull up, and then push down to release. Very good. Check our lights. Check, make sure you've got headlights. High beams. Good. Four ways. No four ways. Right blinker. Okay, this truck is one that's under, is being worked on, so we've got a couple things that aren't working on this one, but for all intents and purposes for the video, again, you want to make sure that your lights, your marker lights are working, everything along those lines. Any marker light you see on the truck must be working, so if you have your marker lights, they must be illuminated, or that is a DOT violation. We're going to come to the back of the truck and make sure we've got brake lights. I mean, the brakes. Hard to see in the sun, but yes, we do have brake lights. Turn signal. This one we're having trouble with the wiring. You mean the reverse? I'm gonna check your backup lights, make sure your reverse lights work. In this case, again, this truck's under, is being worked on still, so we have a couple things that aren't working quite right. But again, if you came back here and saw that you did not have reverse lights, that's something you'd want to note on your vehicle deficiencies. When we walk around the truck, we're always looking for anything loose or hanging on the truck. Make sure nothing's puddling underneath as far as oil, anything along those lines. Do a little pressure test on the tires here. Let's just give it a little kick to make sure that we've got enough air in them. Very good. We're gonna look inside, make sure that, again, nothing's loose or hanging. Take a look at our leaf springs if we get in here far enough. Make sure everything looks good here. We can check our lug nuts by hand just to make sure that the lug nuts aren't loose. Very good. We've got our fuel cap here. We'll check out the fuel cap, make sure that it's in good shape. Locking fuel cap. It also tells you on here that it is diesel fuel only. And just kind of give it a once over to the truck, make sure there's nothing as far as damage on the truck. No dents, no dings on the truck. It's a real basic visual inspection. When we're looking at the tires, we can also take a look and see inside. It's going to be kind of hard to show on this video, but you always want to take a look inside your wheels, make sure that your rotors are in good shape. Check out your brake pads. You're looking underneath to make sure that everything's in good shape here. Bring your penny. You want to check your tread depth when you get inside. You want to make sure that you've got good tread depth in through here. This guy looks like he's got plenty of meat on the tires, but again, something you want to check throughout your general inspection. So as we check back at our list, we've done everything under the hood. We've done everything in cab. We've gone around the vehicle. We're going to check our driver's items to make sure that you have your driver's license on you, proper license to operate this vehicle, medical card for anything over 10,001 gross vehicle weight, proper PPE, hard hat, gloves, safety glasses, and your high visibility vest. Toolbox you'll find inside the job box on the back of the spray trucks. Brakes adjusted or self-adjusting. Cell phone use prohibited. Seatbelt use is required. You must stop at all DOT checkpoints. Vehicle's gross weight. This one you'll find on the inside of the door jamb. This one we'll find it on the driver's side. This guy here, we've got him listed at 21,000 pounds, gross vehicle weight. You can find that on the inside. You could also find the temperature or the pressure as to what to put your tires at. The last thing we're going to check for is going to be for our triangles, which we have our triangle box inside. We've also got our fire extinguisher on the outside. Ooh, vehicle height. Listed inside, you also find the vehicle height. On this one, we can see it's 10 foot 5 inches. We go back to our sheet. We've hit all the check marks. We go down to any deficiencies that we would have found. On this one, we found the windshield washer fluid was not coming out of the windshield wiper, so we would note that as a deficiency. And anything else you might have found throughout your inspection, whether the vehicle was satisfactory or not, your signature in blue or black ink. When we come to the end of the day, we're going to note our end time as well as our total time. We'll note our end odometer as well as any deficiencies we found throughout the day, whether our vehicle was satisfactory, and we're going to print and sign our name at the bottom.